Oh, baby. Ready to talk about some Championship Sunday football?
Yep, I got everything I need right here.
Okay. Well, I guess let's start with Kansas City, the opening drive, charging down the field and getting the touchdown to start the game. Great start, obviously. Wait. Ugh. Well, at least you got the right color trash can. Oh my God, we did it!
I don't want to hear it from a guy who's half his fan base is Swifties. Broncos country, let's cry.
Back to the Super Bowl.
Why'd they put the trash cans next to the Cowboys helmet?
You could take it and shove it up your.
Peace!
What I really need to be hearing from you, though, is thank you.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to this Championship Sunday recap of the Trajan Temple Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler, and for the fifth time, AFC champion in the last 7 seasons, Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined alongside, as always, by the equally supportive and very much happy for me, Trajan. And that right, you're very happy for my team this year, aren't you?
I am ecstatic. Always believed they could. Never a doubt.
Never a doubt, right? Oh, feels so good. Beating the Buffalo Bills for the 4th straight time in the playoffs. That's never happened to Buffalo, right? Um,
Jeez.
Oh, man. Yes, the Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl bound once again. The quest for the three-peat continues. What a time to be a Chiefs fan right now. I am so excited. A chance to maybe replace that back-to-back championship flag with maybe a three-peat flag. They are one win away. Just one win away, and it gets against a very familiar Super Bowl opponent in the Philadelphia Eagles, although not the same Philadelphia Eagles that we faced 2 years ago. It'll be interesting to see what that goes into, but we have a couple games to talk about before we get into the Super Bowl, which, actually I shouldn't even say that because we're not even going to get into the Super Bowl this week. Since we have a whole other week to talk about the Super Bowl, we're going to spend today just talking about the games that occurred on Championship Sunday. Starting with the early game, which was the NFC Championship matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. And I'll have plenty of things to say about the later game, so I will let you have the floor start off on this one.
Oh my gosh, how things escalated. Final score, as you can see, 55 to 23, 20 of one of which came in the fourth quarter. And yeah, Saquon took over the game early and they never looked back. 15 carries, 118 yards, 3 touchdowns, along with a 60. That was the first play. Wasn't it their
very
first?
first play. Very first play from scrimmage for Saquon Barkley. A handoff just takes it to the house right off the bat. And that pretty much set the tone, it seemed like, for Philly.
Yep. And then you even got their backup running back doing good. 4 carries, 77 yards, 1 touchdown with 57 is long. I mean, gosh, they were just beating up everyone. Jalen Hurts, I mean, decent numbers, 246 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown, but most importantly, he stayed clean, no interceptions. Jaden Daniels unfortunately did not. And I mean, anytime you got a rookie throwing 48 times in a playoff game, it's probably not going to end well.
Mm-mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Washington, they overachieved this year. They were not supposed to get past the Lions, which they did. So, I mean, I think this is something they build upon and they're happy about. But Philly, they're definitely built differently right now. Jalen Hurts, I always liked him. I like his attitude. And Saquon definitely has something to prove after being told you're not as good as Daniel Jones, I guess.
Well, Daniel Jones obviously he's the clear-cut starter for the New York Giants right now. So I mean, it's oh wait, hold on.
Cute face of the franchise. But gosh, yeah, nope. 55-23 beatdown.
Yeah.
And fly Eagles fly.
There you go. I hate to put it all on Jaden Daniels because obviously the real big frustrating part for Washington, 3 fumbles, one by Eckler, McNichols on a kickoff return, and Diami Brown. Lost all 3 of those fumbles. I mean, that's if you're gonna go into the home of your division rival and hope to win, you got to protect the ball. And yes, Daniels did have the 1 interception, but those 4 total turnovers by Washington, those were killers. And I mean, yeah, you could make the argument that a few of those points the Eagles had were garbage time points. Washington actually at one point had a real opportunity to get back into this game. They got the 2-point conversion, made it a 2-score game again too. But yeah, once Philadelphia got flying, the defense for Washington just wasn't enough. I think Philadelphia at the end of the day, even without the turnovers, probably still would overwhelm them in the end. But yeah, the 55 points after 4 turnovers, I mean, you can't really be too surprised. That's just playoff football. You got to play your best and your cleanest football you can if you want a chance to win. So, but I agree with you. Jaden Daniels definitely overperformed this year. I mean, good God, I still remember making at the time, very bold prediction that they'd even make the playoffs. And not only did they make the playoffs, they won 2 playoff games in Jaden Daniels' rookie year. So, I mean, keep building that.
The number 1 team.
Yes. Keep building this team around Jaden Daniels. And apparently people are buying into Dan Quinn's system right now, too. I think this team can go far here in the future as well. It could be a team rivaling the Eagles, rivaling the Lions, depending how things go next year with them. We may have a new contender in the NFC.
You know how hilarious it's going to be? You got the Eagles and the Commanders fighting it out, and the Cowboys and the Giants are just at the bottom.
Whew.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, man. And there's a lot of Dallas fans not too happy with their situation right now, too, especially with the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer as their head coach and the very iffy things Jerry Jones had to say in that press conference. So, Lord, have mercy on them.
Team.
Hell of a team.
I approve of his job.
And the hiring of Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, I mean, he's good at that position. It's kind of hard to get that stench of a head coaching job the previous year off you. I mean, but hey, even Steve Spagnuolo had to work hard to get that head coaching stint off him too. And if there was a Hall of Fame for assistant coaches, I think Spags would almost be a first ballot Hall of Famer at this point. But yes, the Philadelphia Eagles cruise past the Washington Commanders, secure their spot in Super Bowl 59. But now it's time to talk about their opponent in the Super Bowl. And that, of course, is none other than the Kansas City Chiefs. So as Trajan plugs his ears right now too, let's hear it, Kingdom. How about those Chiefs? Oh, man, I told you this. I was more nervous about this matchup with Buffalo than I was last year going on the road to Buffalo. Because, just last year, big part of me was like, man, Kansas City does not look like their best. They're pretty much being carried by their defense here. Buffalo, Baltimore, I mean, we got to go on the road to both these teams. Man, it'd be great if we beat them both. But, man, I mean, home field advantage, I mean, that's a big deal in the playoffs for sure. Unless you're Washington, apparently. Until the championship game. And Josh Allen, in a retooling year, just busts his ass, gets the team on it, puts the team on his back, carries them like through the playoffs back to the AFC Championship game for the first time since 2020 against, funny enough, the Kansas City Chiefs once again. And it just something about this team. I was just like, man, I really hope we can pull this off. But man, oh man, is Buffalo looking pretty dangerous right now, especially after taking down who I thought was even more dangerous in the Baltimore Ravens. So here we go.
You told me that was not true.
So here we go. We go, excuse me, Buffalo comes to Arrowhead. We win the coin toss, defer to the second half. And what's the first thing that happens? Josh Allen almost throws 2 interceptions on back-to-back plays. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, all right, well, it seems like we've got him rattled so far, but it's like, man, I really wish we could get the ball. Everyone talks about Mahomes having devil magic. I mean, Allen fumbled like 2 times in this game, and he recovered his own fumble twice. On top of those 2 near picks there. My goodness. And then, of course, Buffalo gets the ball back, goes down the field, gets the field goal. Kansas City can't convert on that too, gets the ball back they fumble on that one. Buffalo takes advantage, goes down the field, takes the lead 10-7. Kansas City goes back down the field themselves, and thank you so very much, Buffalo. Xavier Worthy getting himself a touchdown there. He had himself a heck of a game. 6 receptions, 85 yards, including that receiving touchdown. Takes the lead. They go down. They get another touchdown. Mahomes runs it in himself. Remiss the fact that Kareem Hunt got his playoff touchdown on the first touchdown. Hats off to him. And going into halftime thinking, all right, 21-10 should be pretty good, right? But then the Bills strike, and I can't stand him, that Matt Collins, beating Trent McDuffie and getting that touchdown. And although Justin Reed jumped off sides on that extra point, it actually turned out better for us because they they accept the penalty, put the ball on the 1-yard line, try the QB sneak, and the Chiefs stuff them. They stuff them. They keep it a 5-point game going into halftime. So, all right, well, we get the ball back in the second half, feeling pretty good. And then we go 3 and out. I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't want to give them any momentum. And sure enough, they took that momentum and drove down the field and got a touchdown, taking the lead. I'm like, well, fantastic. Oh, boy. Okay, they're going to go for 2 now. They're trying to make it a 3-point game. And the Chiefs defense stops them again. They stopped him again. Forcing a fumble. Obviously, they recovered this one, but on a conversion, I mean, that's just as good, just as much as an incomplete pass or, stuffing them before the line of scrimmage, or before the line to gain. But yeah, Bills are up by 1 point. Kansas City now has to answer, and that they do. Long sustained drive down the field, gets the touchdown. Patrick Mahomes gets his second rushing touchdown. They go for the 2-point conversion. Mahomes looks like he's in trouble. Back of the end zone gets Justin Watson with that 2-point conversion. And before I go on too, I mean, I talked about last week how would it be nice against the Texans to kind of spread the ball around more. We got completions to Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce, Samaje Perine, Isaiah Pacheco, DeAndre Hopkins, and Kareem Hunt. You want to talk about spreading the ball around? They did it this week. And he's not even on the list, Justin Watson, even though he was responsible for 2 of those points. 2 of the 32 points he got. So, we go up by 7. Got to give credit to Buffalo. They go down the field. They tie up the game. Curtis Samuel on 4th and goal, back of the end zone. I lost my mind. I was like, that was our chance. That was our chance to slam the door on him. And you have credit to Samuel. He found the sweet spot, got to the back of the end zone all by himself, and it's a tie ball game. So, before I get to the end, I should have brought this up at halftime, but I was making a point. I received a text message from a certain someone. Would you like to read that text message you sent me? I would just like for everyone at home to hear what you told me.
I said, turn off the game. Congratulations on the win.
So mind you, he sent that right before the Buffalo Bills touchdown. And you kind of admitted to me here, too, that wasn't entirely true. You didn't entirely turn off the game, did you, there?
No, I turned it off for dinner time, but it got turned on right afterwards, which was a few minutes into the second half.
There we go. So, I just wanted to bring up that little tidbit right there. So, besides that, what were your thoughts when Buffalo tied it up? So it'd be when it was 29-29. What were you thinking with about 6 minutes left on the clock, roughly?
They should have scored a touchdown. I mean, more touchdowns, basically. With it tied there, I didn't think they were going to win, to be completely honest with you. They just, you guys got their number. You somehow pull away at the end, and I started kind of believing in the second half, but that first possession there where he almost throws an interception twice, I was like, yep, this is not going to be their game to win. And yeah, it was not their game to win.
There we go. Well, I'll come back to my next part of my question here in just a second, because with 6 minutes left on the clock, I'm hoping it's like, okay, we've done this before. Just drag this drive out as long as we possibly can and hopefully get a touchdown and leave Josh Allen not hardly any time left on the clock. And we get to 1st and goal at the 10-yard line after a great catch by Xavier Worthy. And unfortunately, Mahomes takes a sack right afterwards too. They can't convert in the goal-to-go situation, have to settle for a Harrison Butker field goal. And now I'm looking at the clock. There is exactly 3 minutes and 33 seconds left. Josh Allen has all 3 timeouts.
Yep.
At this point, I'm thinking, for the love of God, just keep them out of the end zone, because at this rate with Josh Allen, a field goal is a foregone conclusion. Those are my honest, true feelings at that moment. Mm-hmm. I would like to know, you seeing that same scenario as me, what were your true thoughts for the scenario of Josh Allen having all that time and all those timeouts and a chance to win the game?
Like I said, I wasn't confident. I was not confident.
Okay.
This felt like missed field goal to send it to overtime moment.
Oh.
That's what it felt like to me.
It felt like a repeat of that,
I don't have confidence in this.
Alrighty. Well, and then obviously get a chance. They go down the field a little bit. Josh Allen, big 15-yard scramble. And then 1st down, throws an incomplete pass. 2nd down, incomplete pass. 3rd down, gets him close. Gets him 5 yards, gets down to the 2-minute warning, and it's 4th and 5. And all I have to say is, Steve Spagnuolo, you beautiful, beautiful man, but man, you are an absolute psychopath sometimes with your play calls. You sent our number 1 corner in a blitz package after Josh Allen, and son of a gun, I couldn't believe it. It actually worked. Josh Allen draws back, pressure in his face. Karlaftis McDuffie coming after him, chucks up a prayer. Dalton Kincaid right there to get it. It hits him right in the hands, drops it. Heartbreak for Buffalo. And, in real time, watching it, I thought, how in the world did he drop that? It looked like a fair catch situation right there, too. He's just turning and looking at the ball. And then I see the other angle. He kind of had to twist his body around, too, and readjust it in really quick. But, yeah, the ball went through his hands. Turnover on downs. Kansas City needs a couple 1st downs. They get the first one with Isaiah Pacheco. Unfortunately, it slips out of bounds. But go to 3rd and 9. Dump pass to Samaje Perine, the former Bengal, the former Bronco, gets us the 1st down, slams the door on the Buffalo Bills, and for the 5th time in the last 7 years, the Kansas City Chiefs raise the Lamar Hunt Trophy, the trophy named after the founder of the American Football Conference and the Kansas City Chiefs. And they're going back to the Super Bowl for a chance to three-peat. No other team has gotten to this point in their quest for a three-peat. This is uncharted territory, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yep, and I couldn't be more excited for you.
Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Even though you'll have to be at the Super Bowl party in spirit this time, unfortunately. So, I wish I could see you there again too. You're always just so happy for me. You just give me the biggest hugs every time too. I mean, you even you pour my drinks for me and everything too. You give me a cake and all that stuff. I mean, you're just always the first one to roll out the red carpet and then just wish me the best on when we win the Super Bowl.
This year was the year I was going to poison you, so you might be happy I'm not coming.
That might be the case. All right. Final thoughts on the championship weekend before we wrap things up here.
No, it was definitely a good game, close, just as expected, and no, you guys deserve it. Even though the refs help you, but you guys deserve it.
Oh man, should we talk about that really quick before we close up shop? Let's talk about. I'll talk about the Xavier Worthy catch. And honestly, I didn't know that this was the rule. If two guys are fighting for it and it hits the ground, even if it's like pinned up against someone, it's supposed to be incomplete. I never heard of that before. I thought the wide receiver, if it's 50-50 possession, tie goes to him, and the ball, yes, did hit the ground, but it didn't move. It didn't get jarred loose or anything like that. It didn't improve his possession or anything like that too. It was pinned up against him, and it touched the ground, but it didn't like jar in the ground, I guess is the way I'm saying.
Yeah, I just don't know. It's so close, and no matter what, I don't think that play changes the outcome, though.
Well, and the biggest thing on that too is there was already a defensive penalty on that play.
Yeah.
So you're talking a difference of like, I don't remember what the yardage was, 5-10 yards or something like that, But
if it was fourth down, no flag, yes, that changes the game.
that does change something.
But
yeah,
it was, yeah.
Which I was gonna say. Speaking of fourth down, and I've seen the angles, I've seen the screenshots. Could you potentially infer where the ball is on Josh Allen's person? Probably so.
Piece them together.
You could probably piece it together, yes, but it's not how you piece it together. Is the video evidence enough where you see the ball and where it's at? And there's been multiple referees say it's so tough. It's so tough, finding out where the ball is in those like goal to go situations or those fourth and inches situations too. You kind of just have to use your best judgment and the information that's in front of you. I mean, yes, I've seen that top-down screenshot so many times. You don't see the ball, though. That's the only deal. You don't see where the ball is, and I think that's just ultimately what why the ruling stood. You just couldn't see exactly where the ball was on Josh Allen's person. And unfortunately for the Bills, the ruling on the field was he was short. And then since there wasn't, overwhelming evidence, the call had to stand. And believe me, I have seen that before where it's gone against Kansas City, and I'm like, wow, are you freaking kidding me? How can you not do that? But ultimately, going back to what I said earlier, Josh Allen, 3.5 minutes, 3 timeouts, had the chance to put the game on his back and go down and win it. And they just couldn't get it done.
Correct. Yeah. No, I don't know. I think there needs to be some improvements. They've been talking about chips and stuff like that.
Don't worry. Since Buffalo lost to Kansas City, that means another rule change is coming. That's usually how it works.
I think it can be combined with video, but I think it'd make the game much faster. No more chain gains, automatic spotting. I could see that, and I'm all for it. Speed up the game. Do things that make the game more enjoyable and maybe less controversial. Take it out of the refs' hands.
So here's my idea on that actually too. if you know for a fact that, the quarterback's going to line up and try to sneak it, the sky cam, why not just, because it's not going to throw it, it's not going to be in the way. Why not just have that just right over top to help give that extra pure angle? Because like the Skycam footage that like everyone's screenshotting and all that too, it's coming from an angle. And it looks like Josh Allen's like way past the line and everything too. But no, I mean, like the angle it's looking at too, we don't know where for sure the ball is at. But if you have it where the Skycam is just planted right above, the line to gain, at least as close as possible, right? Give that top-down view. That just gives you that extra deal. I mean, they put a camera inside the pylon that's at the line to gain anyway, to help them out. And unfortunately, that camera was useless because there was too many players, on either side. You couldn't see past there. That's what the refs had to see. It was basically what the refs were seeing. You can't tell because there's players on both sides. So maybe a top-down view would help. Maybe a chip would work. I don't know. But yeah,
we just do this. I mean, two players are struggling for the ball. The tie goes to the offensive person. Maybe the tie here, you have one ref going this way, the other one going first down.
Maybe tie goes to the offense, right?
Maybe tie goes to the offense there.
God, it's got to suck being a defensive player. You have like no advantages whatsoever. Remember they wanted to get. Remember when they wanted to get rid of the fumble into the end zone rule?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what changes are made in the offseason too. But as we mentioned earlier, we will be doing our Super Bowl preview next week, and I guess a little bit of a Pro Bowl review. Just talk about some dodgeball. We love ourselves some dodgeball here.
Dodgeball's good.
If we weren't a football channel, we'd be a dodgeball channel too. All righty. Any closing thoughts to wrap up this video before we close down shop for today?
The Eagles do not end this torment. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might put my resignation as a fan of the NFL on the screen for our next episode.
I thought you were going to say you were going to revoke their Pennsylvania license or something like that. They're getting kicked out of Pennsylvania. They got to find a home somewhere else. There you go. All righty. Well, thank you everybody so much for watching. Click like if you enjoyed this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all of your friends. Let us know down below what was your favorite part of Championship Sunday. We'd love to hear from you. And we will see you all next week for the Super Bowl preview. This is Temple and Trajan signing off.